Passes tomorrow, rainy and breezy, right around 51. I'm KIRO 7, pinpoint meteorologist Nick Allard.
It is 49 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Ursula Royteen.
Download our app to listen on your smartphone. KIRO Radio 97.3 FM. News and talk. Powered by the Pacific Northwest.
And this is our number.
It's time for the fastest 15 minutes in the news. This is Dori's Fastest 15.
Coming to you from the Carter Subaru Studios. Welcome to World of News in a tidy little 15-minute package just for you. Welcome to our Fastest 15. So my wife always gets up real early. She gets up about, I think, 4:45 or so. And she likes either going running or going to the gym before she goes to work.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really good. And then this morning, for some reason, I woke up at 5, and I was kind of jacked up after that Seahawk game last night. And so I always have trouble falling asleep. We do a long post-game show, and it's just hard to go home and transition into.
Correct.
Plus I have to start preparing for today's show.
Right.
So I wake up about 5. I was trying to fall back asleep, and then about 5:15, I just said, forget it. I'll go downstairs, start working on the show. And my wife, first thing she tells me is, Ursula only slept 15 minutes tonight. And I said, how do you know that? She goes, it's on Facebook.
Yeah, I was
It's on
just
Facebook.
desperate. At 4:45, I'm still awake. I haven't gone to sleep. Now, by this point, okay, I did something extremely indulgent last night after the Seahawks game. I didn't even watch Golden Globes. I went and got
I have a
nor
complete
did
recap
anyone.
for you here.
Nor did anyone else. But I got a 2-hour massage, thinking this is going to help me because I've been having such bad sleep issues.
Mm-hmm.
Dori, I could not fall asleep. I found stress reduction music.
Mm-hmm.
I had that going. I had a special light I was trying. I mean, I just kept flip-flop all night. Finally, I was just like, are you kidding me?
15 minutes? You're operating on 15
Yes.
minutes right now?
Don't I look like it? Look at my eyes. They're bright red.
I can't see through the bags on mine.
I gotta say, she might hide it a little better than you do on mornings like that.
Well, that's hurtful.
It's not. It doesn't mean bad or
It
not a
doesn't
slam.
happen as often for me. I will, the day
And she wears makeup.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
You
And,
know
I
what?
thought you were talking about on air that you can't.
No.
tell.
Well,
I'm expecting today to
Why
just
don't
be
we just, on a regular daily basis, set up some time and you can do my face like you do before the live shows?
I'd happily do it.
Why don't we do that every morning? And I'll just start walking
but
around
You're too hard on yourself.
with
You're-
a
what you
mask
have
and-
is part of your character. You have just a little bit shows just experience.
No. Everything's great. Okay, well, I'm sorry.
I know. Oh, I appreciate it. And tell your lovely wife.
First thing she said to me this morning,
Funny.
it wasn't even good morning. I walked down and I say, good morning. Ursula slept 15 minutes tonight.
I know. But
First
you know
thing.
what's so funny?
What?
I have more people saying they're dealing with the same. And we had it was such a great time with the Seahawks. I mean, I thought I was going to sleep like a baby. It was awful. I probably shouldn't have had the 2 Diet Cokes during the Seahawks game.
Oh, yeah, I've stopped doing that after noon.
I know. I think that's what did me in.
All right, well, since you missed the Golden Globes, let me help you out with that.
Okay.
So while I was doing the postgame show, I started seeing Twitter just going crazy about Ricky Gervais' opening monologue, and I did go home and watch. It's about 7.5 minutes. It's horribly entertaining. And, here we go. So here's a little bit of Ricky Gervais' opening monologue.
Let's have a laugh at your expense, shall we? Remember, they're just jokes. We're all going to die soon, and there's no sequel. So, yeah, remember that.
And he called the hosts, the Hollywood Foreign Press, a bunch of racists.
Many talented people of colour were snubbed in major categories. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. The Hollywood Foreign Press are all very, very racist. So, 5th time. So we were going to do an in memoriam this year, but when I saw the list of people that had died, it wasn't diverse enough. No. It was mostly white people, and I thought, nah, not on my watch. So maybe next year. Let's see what happens.
It was really funny. It was funny because he was just brutal about actors and actresses and their indulgences. And you know, as far as a singular profession, I like the end result of good, well-done TV, movies, kind of. I'm not a big movie buff, but I enjoy it. And I appreciate the art. But as far as outsized value in one's own mind, there is no profession. I mean, even worse than athletes. And they have these award shows every 2 days where they get up and they dress in their gowns, climb in their limos, and they congratulate themselves on how wonderful they are. And it's just an empty industry.
Although this one's always the most entertaining because their tables by the end of it are just filled with empty wine bottles and champagne bottles.
Yeah, they're all drunker and skunks.
This was a great example of that. By the end of it, all of the winners at the end were slurring, and it was entertaining.
Even so last night on CBS, they had an update on Jeffrey Epstein and more experts and photos of his prison cell, that this was not a suicide. But Ricky Gervais was able to work Epstein into his monologue.
Spoiler alert, season 2 is on the way, so in the end, he obviously didn't kill himself. Just like Jeffrey Epstein. Shut up! I know he's your friend, but I don't care. You had to make your own way here in your own plane, didn't you? Right.
And then he told and some of his jokes just bombed with the audience, too.
And the reviews, shocking. I saw one that said, this is the worst thing to happen to cats since dogs, right? But Dame Judi Dench defended the film, saying it was the role she was born to play, because I can't do this next joke.
I almost want you to stop it.
Because she loves nothing better than plonking herself down on the carpet, lifting her leg, and licking. Verbal. She's old school.
That one made me uncomfortable.
Yeah, it is uncomfortable. I wish we hadn't played that. And then here was the best part, and he gave them all some advice that they all immediately, completely, totally ignored.
Apple roared into the TV game with a morning show, a superb drama, a superb drama about the importance of dignity and doing the right thing, made by a company that runs sweatshops in China. So, well, you say you're woke, but the companies you work for, I mean, unbelievable. Apple, Amazon, Disney. If ISIS started a streaming service, you'd call your agent, wouldn't you? So, if you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world. Most of you spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg. So, if you win, right, come up, accept your little award, thank your agent and your God, and... So... It's already 3 hours long.
Oh, it's so true.
But isn't he says don't get political, and then what's he doing?
He's a comedian.
No.
Well, but he's
Doing
but
a
it's like
monologue.
you preach, and then to do it at a place where you're just basically going to crap on all the people who
deserve to be crapped on more than any group of people in any industry.
This was pointed out by, again, Jason Rance, but Michelle Williams, who ended up winning at the end of the night and gave the biggest political speech, including a kind of shout your abortion moment, and she dropped out at 15.
Yeah. She has less education than Greta Thunberg. There she is.
Women 18 to 118, when it is time to vote, please do so in your own self-interest. It's what men have been doing for years.
Just the shaky voice gravitas of that. And let's see. Oh, here's Patricia Arquette. She's always a doozy.
And I'm so grateful to be here and celebrate this. But also, I know tonight, January 5th, 2020, we're not going to look back on this night in the history books. We will see a country on the brink of war, the United States of America, a president tweeting out a threat of 52 bombs, including cultural sites. Young people risk.
I could listen to that all
You know what the ratings were though? I mean, they're even worse than last year's, which was horrible. So it's like on trend to be.
I actually thought this one was so well placed. It made me. I hadn't planned to watch it, but then it was on right after the Seahawks game, and it kind of sucked us in.
Oh, really? Yeah. No.
Yeah, I thought Ricky Gervais was so funny.
Pat Sajak just tweeted, "I just updated my will requesting Ricky Gervais speak at my funeral."
Yeah,
Fair.
He's really, really fun. Here's how he ended the show, by the way.
That's it. Good night. Thank you. Please donate to Australia. Have a great time. Get drunk. Take your drugs.
There was one more thing.
Yeah,
Bleeped.
Yeah, I know.
And bleep off. Get drunk, take your drugs, and bleep off. And
what did he have to? I mean, he gained lots of new fans, and he said he's never going to do it again. So it's like
he said that last year too.
Oh,
did
he?
They keep inviting him back. Yeah. They, it's like it's like that the White House Correspondents thing.
Yeah.
Where they bring in a comedian who just savages the president who's sitting right next to them. That's what that is.
But you know what? I think, if people knew how funny he was going to be on this one, you would have had some more
It
viewers.
would have had more ratings. And the other thing is, like a president can handle a comedian saying that next to him because if you're a politician, you have to develop a thick skin. If you're in showbiz, you are surrounded by nothing but lackeys and bobbing head dolls and yes people who just reinforce how wonderful you are. And in politics, it's the same way. Yeah. But you also are subject to, real people in politics. Showbiz people, they aren't subject to any real people. They're just surrounded by people telling them how fabulous they are every second of every day. So they can't.
You don't think they get nasty tweets?
Tweets? Who cares about a tweet?
But I guess the highlight for many was Tom Hanks' reaction.
Yeah, they kept saying that he was being real stoic. Looked like he didn't
faces.
think any of it was
sick.
funny.
He said that he was sick.
Yeah, I think he had a bunch of cold meds in.
He did. He was doing emergency shots during
By
camera.
the way, take a shot of NyQuil before you go to bed tonight.
Tonight? No.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to stay up until 9 o'clock, and then I'm just going to have a deep sleep.
That NyQuil, that makes me jittery. That doesn't make me. That knocks my wife out.
Yeah.
But I take that stuff.
I have the opposite effect too. Benadryl and NyQuil.
Jittery.
But
I just don't feel as good in the morning.
No.
Okay.
Melatonin works, but it works too well.
Oli melatonin grape gummies. Try those, Ursula. They're good.
Up next in the Fastest 15. So if you're looking for these pictures out of Australia are just so devastatingly heartbreaking of the wildfires, the homes that are lost. There have been several people killed, but they now estimate that there are as many as 500 million animals that have been killed. And everybody's sending out the pictures of the koalas because they're so adorable. But I saw a picture a couple days ago, a kangaroo that had been badly burned, and it came up to this home, and the homeowner had one of those kind of old school sprinkler cans that you use in a garden, and they'd filled it with water, and they are pouring the sprinkler can of water on the burned kangaroo, and I almost started crying when I watched that.
Did you see the kangaroo that gave one of the people hugs? Like, wouldn't stop hugging one of them after it got water?
Yeah, it's just, it is so heartbreaking. And did you also see that they have now launched criminal investigations? They believe that one of these wildfires was started by a 16-year-old. They thought that it was flash lightning at first, but now there's growing evidence that a lot of these may have been man-caused and arson fires. And just to give you some idea, those horrible California wildfires we had a year ago, this is, in terms of acres, this is 10 times the California wildfire. It's 2.5 times the horrible Amazon wildfires.
This
that
is
we've
hard
had
to
recently.
imagine.
It is. It's a scope of devastation that is almost impossible to comprehend. So, yes, if you are so inclined to donate money and give to any good, reputable cause, I will say that Kaylin Ward, who is this is also one of my favorite professions. Besides showbiz, besides actor and actress, Kaylin Ward is a social media influencer.
Oh, yeah.
They're important people.
Yes.
But anyway, listen to what Kaylin Ward's doing here. She's also known as the Naked Philanthropist. And yesterday, Kaylin Ward said that she has offered naked photos in exchange for donations to wildfire relief funds. The 20-year-old model tweeted that anyone who sent her proof that they had chipped in to a list of Australian charities would get a nude picture of her in their inbox.
Is that what you call a win-win?
And she says that she's raised an estimated $500,000.
Well, that is some influence.
Yeah, because you can't find nude pictures anywhere else on the internet.
Anyone donating, like, well, at least I'm getting something for it.
Jeez.
Oh, brother.
Okay, and finally, in the fastest 15, Chris Wallace, who's known to grill both sides of the political spectrum. Chris Wallace on Fox News Sunday had Secretary of State Pompeo on, and they were talking about the attack and the allegations by Democrats that it has made things worse. And I have to just say, regardless of how you feel about us taking out one of the most bloodthirsty, murderous terrorists in the world, I just really enjoyed our Secretary of State's response to that question.
Do you think that, as misguided as it may be, that some of our enemies think that this president is more vulnerable because of the impeachment effort?
You should ask Mr. Soleimani.
I understand that, but he was going ahead before you killed him, and the question is, do you think that impeachment is emboldening our enemies?
I don't. I think that our adversaries understand that President Trump and our administration will do the right thing to protect American people every place that we find risk.
You should ask Mr. Soleimani. That was a good response. And that is our fastest 15.
This has been the fastest 15 minutes in the news. Fast. Dory's fastest 15.
Give us 15 minutes, we will give you the world. Coming up next on a much more serious tone, a Dori Monson Show exclusive. Last week, you heard about the tragedy of the crab boat that went down in Alaska. 7 crew, 5 lost, 2 survivors. The owner of that crab boat reached out to me over the weekend and is going to speak to us exclusively next here on the Dori Monson Show.
If you operate a farm, ranch, or ag support business, Washington Farm Bureau Healthcare is designed to